Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Konrad Gorlinski and this is the news. Czech Environment Minister Anna Hubacková has announced that the draft agreement with Poland to end a dispute over the Turów lignite mine is ready and will be submitted for discussion by the Czech government. Last year, Czechia took Poland to the Court of Justice of the European Union over the alleged negative environmental impact of the Turów lignite mine, which lies close to the Czech border in southwestern Poland. 3 days have passed and a detailed proposal for an agreement with Poland has been drafted regarding the Turów coal mine. It will now be discussed at a government meeting. In September of 2021, the CJEU imposed a daily fine of €500,000 on Poland for failing to suspend operations at the mine. But Poland has refused to close it and to pay up. The deadline to pay the fines to Brussels passed on January 18th. According to the draft agreement, the Czech Republic will receive €50 million for the damage caused by the mine's operation. According to the Czech Environment Minister, Poland has so far agreed to pay €40 million. The issue of CJEU supervision over the future contract is also pending. The Czech side wants it to last 10 years, and Poland, according to Hubacková, seeks a 2-year supervision. Poland and the Czech Republic have held 19 rounds of talks over Turów so far. And British intelligence agencies claim to have come across information suggesting that Russia is planning to install a pro-Russian leader in Ukraine. The British have also stated that Russian intelligence officers have been in contact with former Ukrainian politicians as part of a plan for a military offensive. Britain's foreign ministry said Russia was considering the Ukrainian politician Yevhen Murayev to lead a new government. Born in the eastern city of Kharkiv near the Russian border in 1976, Murayev is part of a group of politicians in opposition to the pro-Western leadership that took power after the 2014 Maidan street protests. He began his political career in Kharkiv as an ally of the former President Viktor Yanukovych, who fled to Russia after the Maidan uprising. In 2014 to 2019, Murayev was a lawmaker. He started in the opposition Bloc faction, a party formed from fragments of the Moscow-backed Yanukovych's Party of Regions. In 2018, he launched another party called Nashi. Murayev registered as a presidential candidate in the 2019 elections, but withdrew his candidacy before the vote. Murayev has promoted views that closely align with Russian narratives on Ukraine. He considered the Maidan protests a Western-backed coup d'etat. According to a poll by the Razumkov Center think tank in December 2021, Murayev ranked 7th with 6.3% among prospective candidates in the next presidential election in 2024. Another poll by the rating group put him in 5th place. Murayev trashed Britain's claim, telling the Observer newspaper that the accusation isn't very logical. He promised more comments in a Facebook post, accompanied by a photoshopped image of himself portrayed as James Bond. Italy's parliamentarians and regional representatives will convene tomorrow for an initial ballot to vote for a new head of state to replace the outgoing President Sergio Mattarella. One of the frontrunners, former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, has taken a last-minute decision against running for the office. Italy's myriad parties held behind-the-scenes talks on Friday seeking to avoid deadlock over the election of the next president, with the nomination of Prime Minister Mario Draghi seen as the most probable outcome. Draghi, the former head of the European Central Bank, has made clear he would like the job, but the broad sweep of parties that support his coalition are holding back from endorsing him for fear his departure could trigger early national elections. Mattarella has ruled out accepting another 7-year term, but some politicians have suggested pleading with him to extend his mandate to enable Draghi to remain prime minister and continue his work rebuilding the economy after the COVID-19 health emergency. Italy's former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi decided against running for president, he said in a statement on Saturday. The rightist coalition had asked Berlusconi to run for president, but Berlusconi is a highly divisive figure in Italy, and the center-left camp had already ruled out backing him. Berlusconi's rightist allies, Matteo Salvini's League and the Brothers of Italy, said they appreciated his decision. In a statement, Salvini said the center-right bloc was united and ready to make several high-profile proposals. The president, elected for a 7-year term, normally has a largely ceremonial role, but enjoys extensive powers following elections or when a government falls. He has the final say in nominating the prime minister and other cabinet members. Finally, tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets of Brussels today to protest the Belgian federal government's COVID restrictions. Prime Minister Alexander De Croo announced on Friday that people will need booster shots after 5 months to maintain their COVID-19 passes, which give them access to bars or cinemas. That 5-month limit is among the tightest in Europe. For neighboring France, it's 7 months, while the EU-wide guide for travel within the bloc is set at 9. De Croo said that from March 1st, the initial vaccination series would be valid only for 5 months, with boosters required to keep COVID passes active, although they would still be valid with a test or recent recovery from infection.
I have had the vaccine myself, but I was very angry that my children had to have the vaccine, and they just took it because of the freedom. They want to travel. They want to do a sport competition, and they can't do it without a vaccine. But they didn't want to, but it's just blackmail.
Some of the protesters have taken the vaccine themselves, but say that they protest against coercive measures. COVID-19 infections in Belgium are at their peak now at around 50,000 new infections reported each day. As usual, thanks for joining us this evening. Please stay with us for Poland Daily Business, Poland Daily Weather, and other programs. But from me, it's have a wonderful week ahead.